Our next speakers are Bhargav and Thangaraj. They both come with a rich experience in Power Platform implementations, and they are going to share their knowledge on Power Pages, ALM, and their deployments in DevOps. So let's welcome Bhargav and Thangaraj. Are they here?
Yes, Devang. Let me share
Yes.
my screen.
Yes, please do.
Can you confirm that you're able to see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see your screen, Thangaraj. So without further ado, let's get ahead. I will hand it over to you.
Thanks, Devang.
Thank you.
Welcome all. This is Bhargav, and I have my colleague Tangaraj as well with me. Um, Today's session will take a look. I know Milan has covered some of the basic and important aspects of Power Pages already in the previous session. In this particular session, we will look at a bit more on the application lifecycle management features using DevOps for Microsoft Power Pages. We'll take a look at some of the concepts. We'll also see how to use the Power Platform CLI. And then we'll deep dive a bit into the CI and CD pipelines using Azure DevOps and also look at a demo of the entire functionality. So as you can see, both of us are working at TCS. I'm a solution architect.
Myself is a technical architect.
And if you would like to stay connected with us, you have any queries pertaining to Power Pages, you can ping any of us. You can add us on LinkedIn and we can get in touch and discuss about any of the problems or any statements that you might have. Feel free to even drop an email or connect on LinkedIn. So a quick introduction is like basically when does the situation for ALM actually arise? So the concept of ALM arises especially when we are developing components which are more lenient towards the pro code approach, or there could also be a chance that you would want to have modular approach in deploying your Power Pages sites. So at that time, even least customized sites also can be utilized in order to you can use the current process that we are going to describe to even migrate least customized sites as well, right? So Power Pages is actually the newly added vertical into the Power Platform umbrella. And let's take a quick look of some of the capabilities. It's used for low-code website development. It's got some of the best pro dev tooling to extend and customize. It's also robust and scalable in terms of as an enterprise-grade hosting platform, right? So when we say enterprise grade, Dataverse is the backbone of Power Pages, right? So that is why we actually term it as enterprise grade. And we also have the ability to use business data APIs, also build custom controls or add your PCF controls. You can also, add dynamic content to the web pages and have an effective ALM process achieved as well through GitHub and Azure DevOps. Power Pages is rapidly growing. It's got about a 170% year-over-year growth. Some of the commonly used use cases are used for citizen citizen services, application processing, your registration portals, certain frequently asked question kind of portals, and also partner portals. The partner portals comes from the Dynamics world of integration. So what are some of the prerequisites that you might require if you want to quickly wire up a Power Pages site and work with it? You need to have, if you're starting out fresh with it, you might need to have a Microsoft 365 E5 trial account. Enable your Power Platform community developer plans. And then once you do that, you will have your Dataverse environment. And the fourth point is you need to have a solution for components. So it is recommended to use some of the best practices that we use for Power Apps development. That is to create all your tables, establish all your relationships, add all your columns, basically all your entity relationships and schema. You should plan to actually have it within your solution, be it your cloud flows and other components that you're going to build. It's best suggested that you create a solution as well. And in the recent release or wave of Microsoft roadmap for Power Pages. Uh, the Power Pages sites have become by default solution aware. So you will get that option. You'll start seeing that option from the data tab. And in terms of extensibility, you can use Visual Studio Code along with certain Power Platform tools, extensions, and CLI for extensibility. And the last but not the least is the XRM toolbox, which is more like an open source software that has been built by the community, which helps with quite a lot of out of the box available tools that really help speeden your pro development aspects.
All right. Thanks, Bhargav, for setting the tone. So probably I will start with the scenario where you have orchestra zone environments where you'll have a separate dev environment, test environment, and prod environment. So where you need to move the portal level changes between these environments. Say for example, you create a Power Pages portal in the dev environment, and you did the changes uh, in terms of creating a new page, in terms of working with the fetch XML queries and all those things, and you wanted to package that as a portal and or Power Pages and move it to a test environment and from there to prod environment. So that is the model we are going to demo at the moment. So probably without a delay, I will take you to how we will be giving you a demonstration on how to work with the portals using pack commands, and also how to trigger the CD pipeline, which is in Azure. So let me go to the Power Pages. So can anyone confirm that you're able to see my make.powerpages screen? Yes, you are. Okay. Okay, so this is my tenant where I have basically 4 environment, including default. The other 3 are build, test, and prod. This environment I'm unable to do the name change because it's a developer environment and we are not allowed to do the name change. So that is why I've kept it as it is. So I'm considering this environment as my test environment and the other 2 as by the names, right? So let's assume, no, don't assume. So I have a CSS portal right there, which is created here, where I have gone into make.powerpages.com, and I have used the template which is out of the box, and I created a portal. So what I'm trying to demo you here, I will perform some changes with this portal, and I'll try to download this portal file, and I'll try to edit some of the text or some of the images in the same portal, and I'll try to demo you how to upload it back to the same portal again using pack command. That is one part, and the second part is I will perform some changes, and I will trigger the CD pipeline, which will deploy the changes in test and prod environments. Yeah. So to perform it, right? So what basically we have to do, you have to set up a Visual Studio code, and where you have to install this Power Platform extension, right? So I have already created all the authentication profiles. So probably what I will do, I will delete it, and I'll create it from scratch so that you are aware how I am working with all of these pack commands, right? So basically, to get you the context to that environment, for sure you need to connect to that environment first. Only when you connect to that environment, you will get the context of that environment, and you will also have the portals packages lists as well. So what I'm doing right now, I will execute the pack command. The moment I execute the pack command, I get all of these subcommands. So for sure, we don't have time to look into each of these commands. So what I will do, I will quickly take you to work with how to create the authentication profiles in terms of connecting to the Power Pages portal in each environment. And I will also explain you about PA portal, how to make use of a PA portal command line to download and upload the files from the portal. After doing the change, upload it back to the same portal, right? So here we go. So I will type in uh, the first command where I need to create the authentication profile. So I'll say PAC auth create, where I'll need to pass on the URL. So this URL is something where you need to pick it from the dev environment, and you go to session details, you will get the session URL, right? Instance URL, you copy it, come back to the Visual Studio Code, just hit enter. It will, prompt you to select the appropriate login. The moment you select the login, it will, create the profile, which means the authentication profile will be created. I've selected my login and type in the password. Yeah.
So one benefit here is when you actually work with authentication profiles, you have the benefit of adding multiple authentication profiles at the same time in order to be able to, switch or interchange when you are actually doing the specific, executing the specific download or upload commands.
Yeah, thanks, Bhargav, for the additional point. Yes, Bhargav is right. So what I will do instead of creating the authentication profile in between, so what I will do, I will create the profile. Sorry, can anyone sharing the screen? Yes, we are sharing the screen. Bhargav, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I'm able to. Guys, can you give us a thumbs up if you are able to see the screen?
Yes, yes, we are able to see the screen.
Okay.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yes, I will to see that.
All right. So next, I'll create an authentication profile for my test environment, where I'll do the same exercise, where I'll go to my test environment. I'll pick the session. I'll copy the URL. So now I am authenticating to the test environment. So it is asking for the credential. I give the credential. So what you see now, we have two authentications profiles created. To view the profiles created, what you can type in PAC auth list. Once you type this command line, it gives you, two set of profiles, which means authenticated profiles that you have created. It will give you, the list. So basically, so by looking at the active column here, right, where you see asterisks, right? So which means this is the current profile that is being active, not the first one. So basically for us, the profile that we created for the first time, right, which is dev basically. So what we'll be doing is that we will activate that profile first. So to activate the first profile, what we will do, we will select the profile by typing in PAC auth select and then name the index, which is 1. So now by default, a new profile will be created, which is now pointing to dev environment. So here we all say, so what we did, we just, used some of the pack command lines and we created an authentication profiles for dev and test environments. Now what I'm going to do now, I will start downloading the portal files from my dev environment and I will do the change locally and I will, upload it back to the same dev environment to see whatever the change that I did in local is reflected in dev environment. That is my first exercise that I'm going to do now. So to execute that, I will use PACPA portal and I wanted to, know the website ID where you need to basically download it from. So to know the website ID and the portal name, you just type in PACPA portal list, which will give you the list of Power Pages site, which is available in the PPALM build. So here you go. So I'm going to take the website ID of CSS portal where that was the portal that I have, wanted to do a change and see if it is working or not. Right. So what I'm doing, I just copied the website ID of the CSS portal. I'll go back to the command line. I'll download the file PACPA portal download. You have to mention the path and also you have to mention the website ID. So I will mention the website ID. The path is this. Since I have already, downloaded to the same path, I'm using the same path which is in the directory. Right. So, and one more thing I am going to do is that I can overwrite. If at all, if you have downloaded earlier, you wanted to overwrite the files that you have already downloaded, you can mention -o. So the moment I hit enter, what is happening is that it is downloading all the website ADX table files from dev environment, and it will store it into your local. So give it a second, it will complete very soon. So once after this gets complete, we will go to the respective folder and see the timestamp which is changed. Yes, so the manifest is updated successfully and the website downloaded is also succeeded within this second. So I'll go back to the folder and I go back to pages, CSS portal. Yeah, you see this? The timestamp is changed to the current timestamp. So we are good. So whatever the file that is available in the portal is downloaded to the locally. So what we are going to do now, I will load that particular file. Since I've already loaded, what I will do, I will make use of any one web page that is available already. Let's say, let's take the home page. Before I'm going to the home page, I'll show you how the home pages looks like in my application. So I'm just launching the dev site. Wait a second, let it load. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll just show you, the portal that is being created. So I'll do some change here. So instead of Pune, I will change it to Mumbai and then see how this change is getting reflected. So I will go back to the Visual Studio Code. I'll go to home page. I'll go to content, which is my HTML. I'll change it to Mumbai. I'll save this. So the moment I save it, it still stays in my local, where if I come back and here, if I hit refresh, right, it does nothing because you have not, upload it back to the table, correct? So what we do, we just execute the upload command, PACPA portal upload. So if you forgot any command line, what you can do, you just type in till here and you just enter. It will give you the the required argument. So a path is missing here, right? That's what it says. So what I do, I just go here and I mention the path where I'll copy from here. This is where all my files are available. I just hit enter. So what it does now, it is uploading all my local files to the portal where it says the manifest is loaded successfully and ADX underscore web page. So with respect to home page, that is the only table it got affected. So that is the reason only that table is showing up here. The rest all remain same. So that is the reason it is not showing up here. So now I go back to the site. I do Control F5, right? I do Control F5 one more time. It takes some time. Yeah, go on.
So this is where your authentication profile comes into the picture, right? So that's how you're actually building that particular association for the change. If you look at the upload command, there is no URL that is specified. So once you actually use the authentication profile and download the portal, it automatically makes the association and it performs the upload.
Yeah, thanks, Bhargav. So as you see here, the change that we did in local after executing the pack command, upload command, it got reflected into your dev site. So the same thing you can, do it after connecting to a target environment as well. Say, for example, if I go to my target environment, which is UAT, I get the same portal available here. What I will do, I will browse this. You will also see the same, Pune text instead of Mumbai. So what I will do, I will change it to Mumbai from Pune. So to do that, first I need to change my authentication profile, right? Because at the moment I am connected to my dev authentication profile. So to change my test authentication profile, so for I need to, execute PAC auth select hyphen I index, which is 2, because as you have seen earlier, my UAT profile was in the second position, so I just gave index 2. I hit enter. Now my my command line connected to target environment, which is UAT. So now I will execute the same upload command. So we don't need to execute download command here, because whatever we downloaded, we always download it from dev. No one will download it from UAT or prod, right? So that is the flow that we are going in. So now I will just directly execute the upload command, which is this. I'll hit enter. So what is happening is that it will start updating the UAT environment ADX table file, and the moment it completed, after refreshing it, you will be able to see the change from Pune to Mumbai. So if you see here, the URL has the difference, right? From here, it is day one, it is UAT. So let me see if it is completed or not. It's loading. And you have to note down one more thing also here. If you run the upload command between the environments, even if the tables are not changed, it will, do a overwrite of the particular tables, and that's the reason you see all of the tables are that getting listed. Wait a second, it will complete in a minute. So what we are doing now, whatever the change that we made here from Pune to Mumbai, we are going to do the same thing here as well. It's taking some time. So before let it continue. So I'll also explain the next set of process what we will be trying to do in terms of CI/CD. So whatever we have showing up now is inline command line that you have to get expertise and execute it accordingly, right? Okay, so here we go. So successfully uploaded the website data. So now I go back to UAT. I refresh it. It will take some time because the deployment probably maximum of 2 minutes, but still it will load quite fast. So let it load. The same exercise, what we did manually, that we are going to automate it using CI/CD, which is continuous integration and continuous deployment. Till the time okay. Yeah, do you see this? It's changed in UAT portal. So this is how we can make use of pack commands, PA portal subcommand lines, where you can download the portal changes and you can upload it back to your required target environments. One thing to note here, if you have used any of the Dataverse custom tables, I would say. So what you have to do, you have to put that custom table into a solution and package that solution and move it as a managed solution into a target environment, and then start deploying all your portal level changes. So only when it syncs, right? So now what we did was inline command. Now I'll go to portal.azure, where I need to log into my DevOps basically. Yeah, so this is my repository. This is my repository where I have built some pipelines. So this is my continuous integration pipeline, and I have also pipeline for continuous deployment. Right. So I'll just show you what are all the tasks that I have defined in my pipeline. Okay, so this is the log history. Probably I'll edit the pipeline and I'll show you. Yeah, here you go. Right. So with respect to this continuous integration, right? This is the agent where you need to use it while creating an integration pipeline. Everywhere, whenever you create a pipeline, for sure you have to use the agent, and you will obviously use Power Platform tools installer. So basically, this will help us to have all the contextual objects created with respect to Power Platform, right? So that is the reason we always use this task in the agent, and we download the Power Pages portal from dev environment basically, right? So this task is to download all the website related files what we see while executing in inline command, right? This will help us to download all the files to your artifact, right? So that is what we use here. So to configure this task, right? So always the recommendation is to use service principal. So if you could see here, I have created 3 service principal. So you can use the service principal according to your environment. So you can always, refer Microsoft blogs, to create a service principal, how to actively create. For that, you have to do some app registration and create an authenticated app user in your environment, and then provide the client ID and client secret to create the service principal. Right, so that's how I did. So I'm currently using the PP ALM build service principal connection, and I have also mentioned the environment URL, which is the database environment URL. You remember I have just connected to an authentication profile, right? For that time I've used the session URL. The same thing you have to use it here. And the download path, again, it's default in pipeline, where you will load it into your artifacts, right? And what we say here, ID of the website. And we also have an option to overwrite the data as I did with respect to pack comments. So after executing this, right, there is an option, you need to work with certain cases. Say, for example, you have a development site. Consider you have a development site which is in Power Pages, where you have some of the configuration tables available in the backend, right? So for those, you have to, bring the same set of configuration values to a different environment, right? So for that, what you can do, you can create deployment profiles like this, and you can mention what needs to be changed exactly in that environment. So it's basically a configuration level changes that you are trying to move from one environment to another environment. So that is the beauty of having deployment profiles in your artifacts, basically. So what I'm trying to do now here is that I'm creating a deployment profile, and I'm copying the deployment profile file to that particular folder, and I'm publishing the artifact directly into the artifacts which is in Azure. So this is how my continuous integration pipeline works. And if I go to release pipeline, right? So what I did, I just have created a separate release pipeline which will trigger whenever we have the new version in the continuous integration pipeline. So I'll quickly edit this and I'll show you what I've did. Yeah, you see this. So whatever the trigger that happens here, right? Whenever a new version change reflects in my continuous integration pipeline, which this will trigger. So that's how the trigger has been set up. And I have created 2 stages, which is one in UAT, another one is in prod, where I have configured the same set of tasks. But again, here we are doing an upload, not download, right? So to do the upload, we have to use the task name called Power Platform Upload PA Portal, where you have to configure the same thing. But the only change here is that you will use the deployment profile. Say, for example, whatever the change with respect to table that I wanted to move it from dev environment to test environment, where you have to use the deployment profile. So in this case, I have my deployment profiles available in my master repository, where I have mentioned this, but from this table, I wanted to change the mobile header value, right, from test to, let's say, let me edit this. I can show you that. So from test to UAT. So at the moment, let me show you. Okay, at the moment it is built, right? So I'm changing it to UAT. I'll commit this and I'll run this pipeline, and I'll show you how the change gets reflected if we make use of the deployment profile. So similarly, I have the prod deployment profile also. Earlier it is prod, right? So probably I'll go to my prod environment and I'll show you. Okay, I think I can duplicate this. I can remove this, which becomes my prod URL. Yeah, this is my prod URL where you see prod value here. So this particular CSS portal -prod is coming from a configuration table. So I'll change it to live instead prod. I'll edit the repository file. I'll change it to live. I'll commit it. That's it. So I've made the changes with respect to deployment profiles in each environment. So likewise, you can add, a number of tables by referring to the ID and the name and the value. So what I'm going to do now, I will, make some changes in dev portal by editing it lively. I'll go to build environment. I'll edit this. So till the time it loads, right, what I will do, we don't see, Mumbai change here, right? We will, make that Mumbai change by executing the pipeline. So I will go to the pipeline, which is here. I'll run this pipeline. So if you enable the system diagnostic option here, right, and run it, what will happen is that you will get to see the logs, side by side in parallel, whatever is happening with respect to each task that is available in the agent. So it has started. We'll see in the meantime. Yes. So don't get confused because I'm switching between the tabs. So what I did, I just ran the pipeline to see the, Pune gets changed to Mumbai in my prod list. And what I'm doing now, I'm going to add a page here. Let's say demo. I'll add some text. Hello. Hello, Global Power Platform audience. Right, I will just sync this. It will take 5 minutes. In the meantime, we will. Okay, there is an issue. Let me do refresh once. In the meantime, we'll go to the pipeline. Yeah, so it started executing all the tasks. Finally, you will be ended up with, the success message and as well all your artifacts which are, published into the repository, which is with latest one. So the moment this continuous deployment pipeline completes, you'll see the, release 9, which is created now, where it is nothing but a continuous deployment job, where it is asking me to approve, because you can, approve between the stages. Say, for example, I have created multiple stages, right? One is UAT and prod. If I wanted to approve only when the deployment has to happen, you can configure such things. So I've did that. So that's the reason, it's asking me to approve. So I've approved it. What it does is it will, push the changes from dev to prod. So it is queued at the moment. So let's click on that and see what's the agent is doing. In the meantime, I'll go back to my site again. I'll probably add some images and see whether it. Okay, let me add this image. Saved. Just giving it sync. Yeah, it is syncing. Yeah, it's done. Let me preview this to see the change in dev Mumbai demo page. Yeah, you see the change here, right? So we will execute the same pipeline and we will also be able to see the same change in UAT and as well as in prod. Let's go back and see what is happening in terms of the pipeline that we executed. It is in progress. Hopefully this gets completed very soon. So what we are doing is we made some changes in dev. We are pushing that to UAT with the proper approval. After deployed into UAT, we also need to do some approval to push that same thing to prod. So I'm doing the same thing, which I'm doing now is approving it and moving the things from UAT to prod. So this pipeline Inigo will execute. We will go and see whether UAT gets changed. Actually, yeah, sorry, Pune gets changed to Mumbai in prod. So it has to, complete this pipeline only when we'll be able to see the change. So till that time that runs, I'll come back to the dev portal where we see a change that we did. So we wanted to push this change also to all the two environments. So again, I'll go back and I'll execute the pipeline. I'll run the pipeline. I'll enable the logs. I'll run it. So in the meantime, the release pipeline gets completed, right? It is in progress. Yeah, hopefully this will complete within 20 to 30 seconds. So once this gets completed, we should be able to see in prod where it gets changed from Pune to Mumbai. And have you noticed here earlier it was test, right? Now it has changed to UAT because of the execution with respect to pipeline. And this also will get changed to live from prod, right? So let's see. Let's wait for that to happen. Yeah, in progress. Yes, it succeed. I'll go back to my prod. I'll do a refresh and see the two changes which get reflected. Yeah. Do we have some more time, team?
Yeah, definitely. You can take 5 to 8 minutes more.
Yeah, thanks for the information. Yeah, as you see here, the live text got changed, and also we changed it from Pune to Mumbai, right? So, and we don't see the Mumbai page that is added to this, right? Because after executing the pipeline, we added that page. Now let's see, are there any other release pipeline is in progress? Okay, let me first check whether still it is in progress. So once this gets completed, right? By default, UAT will execute and also prod will execute. Yes, this gets completed. I'll go to release. Yeah, let me approve this. Approve. Yeah, in the meantime, I can take up any, no, sorry, we can take up any questions if at all anything is there. Any questions, team?
So far, I don't see any questions. So I will encourage attendees to ask any questions if they have.
Sure. Right, the question is, when we go live with the portal, can we just migrate all the data from portal management app to production and just change the website record reference after creating new website in production? Yes, you can certainly do that. So basically, Microsoft recommends the one-time activity. What you have to do while pushing all your dev environment changes to test or prod, you have to do the same portal creation with the same template that you have used in dev. If you have used blank template, you have to use the same blank template portal in your target environment. If you have used any other custom templates or any other out of the box template, you have to use the same template. Once you do that, what you have to do, you have to replace the data with your dev data. So I can show that. So to show you that, I need to go to admin portal. Yeah, thanks, Milan, for bringing this out. It's a very good question. So,
and anybody else have any other questions, please do add it to the chat.
yes, let me approve it in from UAT to prod. Yes, it's approved. It's queued. All right. So I go to the UAT environment where I need to make one-time change. Right, I go to Power Pages site. So basically you have to log into admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com and select the environments, select the appropriate environment that you have to replace with your existing record for the Power Pages site that you have created, and select the Power Pages site. It will load you the default settings and edit it where you see a website record, right? So here you click on the drop down and change the website that you want to replace with. So consider a scenario, I have to move my dev changes to prod or test where I have the same template created in my prod or test. where all my data should be coming from dev. So what you do the upload and come to this place and you just click on the drop down and change it to the website that you have uploaded from dev. So once you do that, right, whatever that's a one-time activity. So whatever activity that you are going to do in terms of pack command or in terms of CI/CD, by default, all the changes will be rolled out either to prod or either to UAT.
So basically, whenever a Power Pages site is created, in the background, if you look at the advanced configuration studio, there is the portal management app. There is some tables where the active website records are maintained, right? So that is where this association kind of happens. So whatever you saw in the drop down is basically the list of websites that can actually be used for tagging.
Yeah, thanks, Bhargav, for the additional input. All right, so as you see here, both my stages got completed. Let's go and check the new page gets added into UAT first. Give me a second. Let me do Fi, Control Fi. I'll go to production. I'll do Control Fi. Yeah, have you noticed this? We have got the Mumbai demo page added to here in UAT. And in prod, hopefully this will get added. Let it refresh. Yes, that's it. So we have got the Mumbai demo page is already also added to the production. So this is how pipeline works. So to conclude what we did executed two things. One is with respect to pack inline commands where you can play around between dev and test or within dev. And the second thing is we executed the complete pipeline process where you can move your portal level configuration changes from one environment to UAT and then to prod. Okay, so there is a chat how to tackle with cache issues with portal. Okay, most of the time changes.
So I can answer this, Tanga.
Sure.
So basically, you need to be logged in as an administrator. When it comes to clearing the server side cache, you have something called which you can add to the root of the URL. So Tanga, probably can you add underscore services about. So this is the page that you need to add, but this will not open because Tanga has not logged in as an administrator. So he needs to sign in to the portal as an administrator. Click on Are you ready? Yeah. So to answer Milan, usually the CI/CD, we have not observed any cache issues. Usually it works seamlessly. But if there is some caching issue, basically if you log into the Power Pages site as an administrator, underscore service about is the best way to do it. Yeah. Next question is it possible to automate the regression test cycle using the pipelines?
Yeah, let me take up this, Bhargav.
Yeah.
So in terms of executing the test cases, right? So what I would say, this Power Pages deployment model is evolving. So it's not up to 100%, I would say. So it's still we are in the initial phase. It's evolving. Definitely, there will be complete ALM process will be released by Microsoft for sure. And I've not read the blog for the past 2 weeks, but I heard there is a new action which is available or which is released in GitHub with respect to branching, where you can create your branch and would push only those brands to the required master or the main. So that part still we need to explore, but still to answer your question, this is still in the evolutionary phase. Definitely it will go bigger when we move close to 2024.
So
Thanks, Shankar.
So I think no more questions. So I think if that's it, then thanks a lot for the opportunity and appreciate the audience, all the questions and the interactions and the patient. Yeah.
Thank you, team. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you, Bhargav, and thank you, Thanusham. So really, it was a great session. I have one question. During the development phases, we have n number of changes, but we would like to migrate only specific changes during the release cycle. So would it be possible that only approved changes are going into the production?
Yes, Bharat, through repositories, it is possible. See, what I did with respect to upload and download, right? It is pretty much focused on the Azure DevOps. If you follow the same exercise in GitHub, there you can do check-in, check-out. You can keep only the latest changes, and you can pretty much do this through repositories. So that is something I'll leave it to you. You can definitely can explore, but there are options which are released by Microsoft very soon, so we can make use of that to perform this activity as well.
So it's basically, Bharat, the best thing that to do is to have your repository branching strategies planned quite well, and then have an effective CI/CD pipeline system, which we demoed today. That will stay as intact, but then in order to ensure those changes that you want specifically to be deployed, you should have an effective branching strategy with your repositories.
All right. Thanks for the answer. And I would really thank you for your time and giving the session. It was very helpful session for everyone, especially the technical folks.